your base simulation within an hour. The remaining part is annual growth. You already made assumptions and simulation only for the first year. But I would like you to extend that assumption until year 5. Then your simulation will be completed. Okay? And in order to do that, what you need is to make in assumptions of annual growth for each accounts. And it's easy to put any numbers. Okay, 2%, 5% for the annual growth for sales, and 1% increase for salary. But again, you need, ideally, I would say ideally, you should have some rationale, background, the reason why you put those numbers. So in some cases, you need to combine different patterns of business growth. This is one example. You can assume sales revenue will grow until year 5 by 2%. This is the simplest assumption. But when you think about indirect labor cost, yes, your business growth will be faster or fastest in the first 2 years. If your assumption is like that, then the number of the people growth will be higher in the first year or second year. That's, in this case, 10%. But in the second year, third year, that growth will decrease from 10 to 5 because already have the enough number of people. After that, that will be flat. In other words, the 0% growth in terms of the number of the people. This is reasonable assumption, especially for the number of the people. You never be able to increase your number, the people, right, forever. So it is fair to estimate like this. Okay, so I'd like to make your reasonable assumptions, but do not make it too complex. That's why I put a simple assumption, which is 2% annual growth for sales every year. So try to make it simple, but feasible and practical. That you need to have some balance. In my case, I just put 2, and I show you the example. This is my assumption about the annual growth. I put 5% every year about unit of sold, sales volume, rather than 2. This line. Okay, 5%. And unit price, I wouldn't change, or I wouldn't be able to change, because I don't have any reason to raise this price or decrease the price. So I make it flat all the time until year 5. And then cost of goods sold. As I predict the growth of the sales, that means the volume to manufacture, to make, is also growing. That means you can realize, you can get some benefit from the volume discount. So I put minus 2% in terms of the cost of goods sold per year. The reason is simple. Because the volume is growing, I'll get some discount from the volume growth. So I put minus 2. And the number of people, 20% increase until year 3, as I said. After that, it's flat. And labor cost, this is highly related to inflation of the country. In Japan, it's Practically, it's almost zero or minus. But let's assume 1% increase of salary yearly. So I put 1 every year. And other expenses, as I don't have the details of the other expenses, so I assume 0 increase. In other words, it's flat all the time. That's my growth assumption. So I'd like you to make your story like I did and put any numbers in your sheet. So make the growth assumption lines like this and put your assumption about the growth, annual growth for number of units sold, unit price, product price, cost, number of people, labor cost, in other words, it's the salary, and other expenses. What is your assumption? You do not make the lines for after the year 2 through year 5. We will do that later. Let's make this line first. Growth assumption. What is your assumption? How would you explain about your assumption?